Did you know that water leaks cost insurance providers more than fires and thefts combined? And that water leaks in the UK cost over £800 million per year. That's £2.2 million every single day. And that came as a pretty shocking statistic to me, as I'm sure it does to you guys too, which is why it's appropriate that today we are taking a look at a device that not only monitors your water consumption, but can also automatically kick in and instantly protect your smart home against small leaks, all the way up to burst pipes. And thanks to Locket, who is sponsoring this video, we are giving away free smart home tech to 1,000 of you, including 300 of these Sonic Leak Detectors. So as mentioned, we're giving away free smart home tech to 1,000 of you, but the device I wanted to focus on today is the Sonic Leak Detector, which is a super interesting device. So inside the box of the Sonic detector, you'll get some paperwork. Make sure to keep these, as it's got a QR code on the back that you actually need to scan to add it to the app. You'll also have a power supply. And the interesting thing about the Sonic is that it can be powered over mains or via 4 AA batteries. And the battery life lasts about 12 to 18 months on 4 AA batteries, depending on how much water you actually use. And you can have both mains and battery plugged in at the exact same time, so that if your mains power did die, you've got instant battery backup and you won't ever lose connectivity to the Sonic, which is a really nice addition. Then inside the box, you will also have this little adapter, which is called the Hero Link. And this basically converts 868 megahertz to Wi-Fi, and the Sonic itself also uses 868 megahertz. So the Hero Link is the bridge between the Sonic and to your Wi-Fi. So this is how it connects to the internet. And then we also have the Sonic itself, which is this all matte black unit. It's got this valve on the front that you can open and close off your supply. And the motors inside will obviously automatically open and close this valve, as you will see in a minute. It uses standard 3/4 inch thread size, which can be adapted to all plumbing sizes, at least here in the UK, which is really nice. And then underneath here, you will find the batteries, or where you put those 4 AA batteries into the Sonic. And this is a nice, really nice, satisfying magnetic lid that just snaps on and stays in place. If you look through the center of the Sonic itself, you should be able to see some light coming in, and then you can open and close the valve and you should see the light close off. The nice thing about the Sonic is it's got a pressure sensor, a temperature sensor, and an ultrasonic sensor inside. So that ultrasonic sensor allows it to detect as little as 30 milliliters of water per minute, which is a really low amount. And having that really low flow rate allows it to pick up leaks and burst pipes at a very early level, which is super nice. You always want to catch leaks as quickly as possible. Then you also have the pressure sensor, which can measure any pressure drops, which would also indicate a potential leak or burst pipe. And then you also have a temperature sensor too, which could warn you about pipes freezing when it gets down to a lower temperature level, or when we get into those winter months. The other cool thing about this is that it uses machine learning and AI functions to actually work out if there is a leak or not. So inside the Sonic app, you can set up different appliances like your kitchen sink, your showers, baths and things like that. But it also uses AI and machine learning to work out which appliance is running water at the exact time. And then you can also see that inside of the app too. And that's how it detects leaks, is using machine learning and AI, and it will automatically switch off this valve and protect your house against potential leaks. So let's go ahead and get this plugged into our test setup, and we'll show you exactly how it works. Okay, as you can see, we've got the Sonic all plugged in now. Courtesy of my dad, aka The Legend, we've got this nice, lovely test setup so that you can actually visualize how the Sonic will work when you've got it installed in your house. So down at the bottom, we have just a simple garden hose, and that's kind of simulating our water main, or the water coming into your house. So we're just using a garden hose to simulate that. And then that comes up into a shutoff valve where we can open and close the water supply. And then we go up into our Sonic, which is in line with the water supply. We've just got it plugged in with the AA batteries at the moment, but of course you can plug it in via the power supply and power it via the mains if you would like. Then that goes up into a pressure gauge, and we just got a pressure gauge for visual purposes so that you can see how much pressure is in the system, and then compare that to what's in the app to make sure that they are reading correctly. And then finally, we have just a garden tap to actually flow water so that we can run water through the system, and you can see the readings on the Sonic, and that just kind of simulates any other water appliance that you would have in your house. So let's go ahead and get this connected to the app, and then we'll show you how it actually works. Okay, so inside of the Sonic app, what you'll first be asked is things like how many adults live in your house, how many children, things like that. So we're going to go ahead and enter 2 adults, and then you basically go through and set up your property, and it asks you how many rooms you have, what type of rooms. You can set custom rooms, you can choose different presets inside of the app. And this is just so that the machine learning algorithm can identify how much water is being used, and it knows which appliance is using what water flow. And you'll see that inside of the app also. So you'll see that when I select a room, I can then go ahead and select what the appliance is, and you can select multiple appliances, and you can also add your own custom appliances. What I'm going to do is just set this to a kitchen sink for now. Obviously we've only got one water flow, but you could set up multiple flows if you wish. So just set kitchen sink on there, and then that adds our kitchen as a room. You could obviously go through and set however many rooms you have in your house, and then we go set up device, and ask you if you have had your Sonic installed. So we'll just hit yes, that's already on, and ask you if you've got the Hero Link plugged in, which we do. And it pops up there just as a Bluetooth signal that you can actually select. And then the Hero Link is speaking to the Hero over 868 megahertz RF, I think it is. And then that in turn connects to your Wi-Fi. So that's how that works. So we'll go ahead and enter some Wi-Fi details. And then it basically just takes a couple seconds to go ahead and set the Sonic up and connect it to your Wi-Fi. So that's done that there. It asks if we've got batteries. We're just running it off power. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select yes. And then we just need to scan our QR code, which you can find on the Sonic itself behind this valve, or you get it on the little starter kit. So we're going to go ahead and scan that QR code, and that instantly just pairs it up to our Sonic, and that is pretty much it for the setup of the Sonic itself, and it'll just take a couple of seconds to just come online before you can actually use it. This is the home page for the app, or for the Sonic itself. So up at the top you will see that it gives you the pressure on the gauge, so 2.6 bar, and that does actually line up with what is on our gauge up here, which is really good. And it'll also give you the water temperature, so 15.3 degrees. Because we're running this from a hose outside the house, the water is quite cold today, so that probably is accurate. In the middle we'll also get our usage today. So obviously it says 0.0 liters at the moment, but we're going to run some water through, and that should change, and you can see the real-time flow of the water right here, which is a really nice feature. And then underneath we have the big button that says water off and water on. So right now the valve is in the on position, so water can flow through the system. If we press that button and then hit yes, that is actually going to send a signal to the Sonic to actually close the app. It does take around 30 or 40 seconds for that setup to complete. Underneath there we can see the status of the Sonic Link as well as the Sonic itself. So both of those are online, which is good. If they were offline, you would see them here, and you could obviously take action on that. Underneath we have the snooze mode. So there's our valve now opening, and you can see the status of turning the water off on the phone itself. So that is now into the off position. And so water would now not be able to flow through the system if we had a tap running, or if we had a pipe actually burst. Then that would obviously stop the leak or the burst pipe from getting worse and potentially damaging your property. So that is a really nice feature to be able to have. So what we're going to do now is run some water through the Sonic so you can actually see what that looks like. So as soon as I open this tap, so our Sonic is obviously on, and let's flow just a little bit of water through the system. So you can see that we've got a nice little flow coming through there, and the Sonic will obviously register that flow instantly inside of the app. And it says that we're using about 1.4 liters, 1.1 liters per minute. And it tells you how long the event has been running for and the total event usage, which is really nice. We can go ahead and stop that now. and you'll see that the event inside the Sonic will also stop. And it tells you when the last event was and how much was used. And obviously the how much we've actually used for the day has also went up. What we can do is then go over to stats, and that'll tell you how many or how much water has been used for the day. And we can go into the week. It's all obviously going to be the same numbers because we just set this one up. But once you start to use this over a longer period of time, you'll get more stats in there. If we then go over to events, you'll see that our tap, it gives us events for each flow of water that has actually been happening. And these are each of your appliances. So remember at the start when we set up the Sonic, it asked us what appliances we have. Inside here, it would show you if it was a shower or a bath or the garden hose, whatever it was, the kitchen sink. And it uses AI and machine learning to actually work out which of those or what those events were. If it does happen to get it wrong, it doesn't get quite the right flow of water, you can actually tap on the event and then select which appliance it was, and then that'll correct the event for you. And that basically helps it to, or helps the machine learning and the AI functions to actually work, and it'll gather more data and get more accurate the more you use it. What we're going to do go ahead and do now is to run water through the system again. So let's just run a little bit of water through. So we have our water now running. And what I can actually do now is to just turn water off. And you can see that this time the Sonic instantly kicks into life instead of having to wait for that 30 to 40 second mark. This time it's just going to instantly kick in and turn off the water. And there we go, that is now the Sonic now turning off, and our water flow has completely stopped. So yeah, it's much better that it obviously kicks into life instantly and stops the flow of water as soon as you press that button or as soon as it detects a leak. You don't want to have to wait for that 30 to 40 second period. Obviously, if you have a burst pipe, the quicker you can catch it, the better off you are going to be. And that 30 to 40 seconds could be a massive difference. So let's go ahead and move on and show you the pressure test. So how that works is if you head over into checkup, and you'll see that currently it says there are no tests. And what we're going to do is hit run now, and then it says that it won't be active or you can't use it for the next 10 minutes. So hit yes. And what's going to happen there is that the Sonic is going to obviously automatically close, and then it's going to measure the pressure over the next 10 minutes. So it'll take a reading constantly throughout the entire test, and then let you know if there was any pressure drop over that duration. And this is useful for being able to pick up early leaks or tiny minuscule leaks that the pressure would obviously drop on, and you know that you have an issue in the system. The test is now running, and it says it's going to take about 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes to complete. And then when that is complete, you will get the test results. It should say good if there is no problems with the pipes, and it'll tell you if there was a pressure drop and the test failed. You can also go ahead down and see, so it says that our current test is pending at the moment, but it does say that the next test is due at 3 AM tomorrow. So what it'll do is automatically run a pressure test nightly so it can check when the water supply is not in use. It's important obviously that the water supply isn't in use, because if you turn a tap on when it's trying to do a pressure test, the pressure will drop and then it won't be accurate. So that's why it does it at like 3 AM, 4 AM in the morning. And then you can obviously go ahead or go back and see your previous test results and things like that. So we'll wait for this test to complete, and then I'll be able to show you the result. Okay, so that's the pressure test now complete. And we got a pass, which is really good. And you can see our pressure during the entire test was 2.53 bars. Which is right on the money for what we had on our gauge as well. What you can actually do is click into the date as well, and that'll give you a bit more information on the test itself. The blue line at the top is the actual pressure it measured, and then the red dotted line that goes down like this is the max decay. And if it goes underneath that max decay line, it would obviously fail the test. So you can see our pressure drop was 0.28%. So within margin of error, I would say, and it gives you your average pressure too. What I actually want to do now is to run another pressure test, but this time we're going to actually introduce a small leak in the form of just opening the tap so that you can see the pressure drop, and then that should hopefully give us a fail result, and that would kind of simulate what it would be like if you had a small leak or a burst pipe or something like that, just so we can see the pressure drop. So let's run another test. Yes. By the way, when you hear two noises on the Sonic itself, you'll hear the valve close fully, and then once it closes, you hear kind of another motor start, and there's a secondary internal valve in that also closes. So that's why you hear two different noises when the Sonic closes and opens. So let's go ahead and just, I don't know, you may be able to hear this, but we'll just open ever so slightly. And if you check on our gauge up here, you may be able to see just a little bit of pressure drop. So that's us dropped from about 2.5 bar to about 2.1, something like that. And let's go ahead and just let this test run for another 10 minutes and we'll come back and see what the result is. But yeah, as you can see, there was a massive pressure drop at the start, but then it did flatline across the rest of the test. So it does obviously take into account if you open a tap or something like that and there is a massive pressure drop, but then nothing else happens, you would need to see a decline over the duration of the test, which is probably more likely to be a burst pipe or a leak or something like that. So that is how the automatic pressure testing works. And how the Sonic works overall. Okay, so I just realized I never explained how the alerts or how the auto shut off on the Sonic actually works. So there's two ways that it actually works. So if you go over into settings in the app and then shut off and notifications, you can configure an auto shut off for how many liters of water it needs to have flowing over what period of time. And if those conditions are met, then it will automatically switch off the valve and protect you. And you would obviously get an idea of how much water you're using from the Sonic stats that we looked at earlier. The other way is if the machine learning and the AI functions pick up a leak or something that it doesn't recognize, an appliance it doesn't recognize, then it will, I think it phones you 3 times. And if you don't answer or respond within that period, then the auto shut off will obviously automatically kick in and close the water off for you. Now, I think this is an incredible opportunity. Locket, who sponsored this video, thanks guys, are a new type of house insurance provider who give you discounts on your premium when you have smart technology protecting your house. And what they want to do is conduct a study that, as far as we're aware, is the first of its kind to find out for sure if having smart home technology in your house actually makes your house safer. They are obviously pretty confident it does. They probably wouldn't have started a smart home insurance provider if they weren't, but no one has actually done such an in-depth study to find out for sure. So Locket wants to expand the limited research that's already been done in this field to find out for definite. So they are running a brand new insiders program looking for 1,000 users to sign up, and they're going to give each of you some free smart home gear to help protect you against flood, fire and theft, including the Sonic Leak Detector that we already looked at today, some water leak sensors, a Ring video doorbell, as well as some other cool stuff. Now, you will need to change your home insurance over to Locket, so that does mean that you'll need to live in the UK, but they will cover any cancellation fees as part of the program, which is really cool of them. So you're getting some pretty expensive smart home tech free of charge, which you get to keep once the program has finished, and it's not going to cost you anything to switch over. If you are interested in getting in on this, we are going to have all the information linked down below. Make sure to get on this quick, as there is only 1,000 places available, and I'm guessing with the amount of free stuff that they are giving away, these are going to disappear fast. But that's about going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of a different setup today, but really had fun looking at the Sonic from Hero Labs. And you can see how a device like this could be really useful in your smart home. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and get subscribed, and I will see you in the next video.